Well, it's just a few days to the kickoff of the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. And I've had quite a few people saying that the World Cup FIFA hasn't quite checked in. But don't worry, if you're among those people, you're well taken care of here at KTN. So welcome to Samba Buzz, a program that will come to you every Saturday, where we will definitely preview and review the big World Cup matches, as well as look at the players who will be making it happen. In studio today, we have quite a diversified panel, and it will be led by KTN Sports editor Joshua Kemboi. I think I will leave you to introduce your panel.
Thank you, Lynn. And just to start, as we all know, the 2014 FIFA World Cup kicks off on June 12th. That's exactly 12 days from today. In this new segment of Samba Buzz, we will be looking into the 32 teams while zeroing in on the 5 African teams. And with me in the studio to put into perspective, look at the 32 teams and come back to Africa and look into the 5 teams, whether they will do what they did in South Africa 2010 or they will better those results. On my extreme left is Robin Toskin, not so new to this studio, is our associate editor in charge of Game Year 2. Robin Toskin, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Boniface Ambani, again, one man who is well known in Kenyan football and beyond. One time, 26 goals in the Kenyan Premier League, topping while playing for Tusker. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
And to my just immediate left is one man who has flown in straight from Ghana, Bernard Ansah, and he will be telling us more about the Black Stars of Ghana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, to get into this Samba Buzz, Sue said, well, to get us now into this deep end, we have to get into the stage to exactly understand what is happening before or during the World Cup in Brazil 2014. And gentlemen, just to pick up from the last statement of that setting the stage, Spain, is it the team to beat? Toskin.
Yeah, I think they are going there with a reputation. They are the world champions. We saw them reach the finals of the Confederations Cup that was organized in Brazil, though losing 2-0 to the Brazilians, the hosts. But I think they still have a good squad. Real Madrid winning the European Champions League. Barcelona not really performing very well at home. But then we saw a team like Sevilla, you know, the Benfica of Portugal in the Europa Cup. So you get a feeling that this is a team that still has the players, you know, to take them that far. So I think you cannot begin to write them off, even if Barcelona and their tiki-taka have gone down, because they have been the standard gauge.
Exactly. Ambani, do you agree with that? Is it predictable or not predictable to say probably even Brazil being the host team, knowing what happened in South Africa in 2010, will they be the favorites, and Spain for this matter?
Yeah, on my side, I should say that maybe, yeah, according to the form they had in the last World Cup in South, and given that they're defending champions, I can give them an edge on all the teams. But to me, Brazil, I don't think they'll let that thing go off.
Exactly. Answer. Earlier when we were talking, you were very categorical that it is difficult to predict who wins in Brazil. You still hold that view?
Of course, sure. Because most of the teams coming in are going to prove surprises. You wouldn't say Spain, Brazil, Argentina are going to lift the trophy. At the end of the day, let's keep our fingers crossed and watch who will be coming in. It's going to be full of surprises. Surprises are going to come in the World Cup. We wouldn't be able to sing it out in any country.
Exactly.
Sure.
Surprises in the entire 32 teams. But let's now come back slightly to the African teams,
sure.
5 of them. And I would really want to ask you this, because you remember the pain that Africa went through, especially at that quarter-final match, Ghana losing to Uruguay at that time. Do we still have hope in Ghana again this time, knowing that, of course, the 5 teams which were in South Africa at that time are or will be in Brazil again this time? Where will you put your money in Ghana?
Sure. I think this time the Ghanaians have just matured enough. I'm taking part in 2 World Cup appearances. Going in for the 3rd time, they really learned their lessons. Now looking at the kind of player that we are parading for the World Cup, those players are willing to die for the country. And this time they are going in all out. So we should expect something big from the country.
Exactly.
And then individual players.
Ambani, Cameroon, Algeria, for instance. We saw what happened again in South Africa. We are using South Africa as the benchmark, how they performed at that time, going out in the group stages, of course leaving out Ghana to fight for Africa to the quarterfinals. Where will they be this time?
Cameroon. Cameroon, if you see whatever is happening in their score right now, yeah, in their camp right now, there's still wrangles, yeah? They still have the wrangles about the allowances here and there, here and there. So these are some of the things that disrupt the team, yeah? So to me, I don't think if at all they will be able to perform. But with Algeria, according to the pool that they're in, they can pull a surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nigeria, for a very long time, Nigeria has been or regarded as the biggest brother in African football.
Sure.
Toskin, will they be in Brazil with the same tag, or they will be going in the shadows of their fellow West Africans, Ghana?
I think Stephen Keshi is taking a very young squad to that World Cup. And given their reputation as the African champions, there will be pressure on them to perform on that bigger stage and prove to the world that really they are the African champions and they can compete against the world's best. But then I think they really need to fine-tune themselves between now and then before the start of the World Cup, because watching that second string side play against Scotland in that 2-2 draw, you could still see that they have some ground to cover. But if they can put behind all those questions, people are still starting to question, they've been questioning Keshi as to how he named his squad and excluding one of their top strikers, Ikechukwu Uche, who plays for Villarreal. If they can just sit back and then allow Keshi to do his work, I think Nigeria can shock a few nations here and there.
Answer Ivory Coast, we are looking at the African team of the moment. If their ranking in Africa and in FIFA rankings is anything to go by, would you put Ghana, Nigeria, and the other two teams, Algeria and Cameroon, in view of Ivory Coast?
I think Ivory Coast, I mean, when it comes to the African terrain, they're always ahead. Looking at the players that they have, Didier Drogba, I mean, Toure and co, you wouldn't substitute them to any of the other African teams, right? So at the end of the day, they stands out. They stands out when it comes to this competition.
Charity begins.
I think they will have problems because with their team depending so much on Yaya Toure, because I thought he played a very big part in the winning outfit of the Manchester City. So if he cannot recover in good time, you know, in terms of physical well-being, it will be very difficult. Didier Drogba, we've seen he's been playing for Galatasaray, but he's not the Didier Drogba that we all know. So I don't think really that they are going there as the best African team. Maybe I would put again my money on Nigeria, and then even Ghana, like he said, he has the confidence that Ghana can still perform.
Yes.
So Ivory Coast, question marks on that team.
Ambani, just as we're almost concluding this taste of Samba bars, where would you put your money? Of course, the World Cup has not started, but from the top of your head, in the African 5 teams.
The African 5 teams, I'll put my money on Ghana, maybe Algeria, but the rest, I don't see.
Answer, of course, I would really want to remind you of the misses Ghana had in South Africa, Asamoah Gyan missing a key penalty. Have those tears dried up now?
Of course it has. It has. I mean, most of the Ghanaians has just let that pain do away way back. And then most of the players have learned their lessons. And then Asamoah Gyan is not going in with what he did way back in SA.
Yeah.
Currently, the guy has matured and he's going to Brazil with a new fine-tuning to himself and then making sure he's going to achieve something, not for himself, for the country as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe to add on that, if you see, the last time Asamoah Gyan played in the World Cup, yeah? After that, he quit. Yeah? But later on, consultation here and there, he came back and is the captain.
Sure.
And we surely want to prove something good. Yeah?
Exactly. Just as you conclude, Toskin, do you feel this World Cup in Brazil Do you feel it right now? Is it in your blood now?
I've started feeling, and the fact that I could be going to Brazil, so I'm excited. I know it will be a very good one. I've been doing the previews in your favorite Game Here to newspaper, and it's beginning to get into my blood, and I think it will be a wonderful World Cup.
Ambani, as you close?
It's going to be a wonderful World Cup, and as my friend here said, surprises might spring up. So let's wait for the surprise. You know, in football, anything can happen. It's only football is decided on the pitch. 90 minutes. If you do your best, you close it.
I'm told you will take leave for the entire period of the World Cup just to watch it.
Oh, sure. I think the euphoria, you could just feel it, how it is. Taking part in all the other games, you realize that the World Cup in itself, it's a big stage. So you feel it around.
Well, I don't want to leave out my anchor, or our anchor here, Lynn Washira. I don't know where you stand as far as the World Cup
First
stands.
of all, I really love how Answer is confident, you know, all Ghana. And I think I'll be putting my money on Ghana too.
Sure.
You know?
They'll miss the penalties.
Yeah, and I think all that was Schwerer's fault. Were it not for him, I think, of course, maybe Ghana could have gotten to the final and become the first African to get to the maybe semi-final, final, something like that.
Well.
But yes, I'll be putting my money on Ghana.
Sure.
Well, gentlemen, you will agree with me that this is a subject, or the World Cup in itself. We can discuss it for the whole week. If we were to sit down here, we will not exhaust all that which will be. But you will be sure, because KTN will give you all this information every Saturday, and in every other bulletin that we have, we will be giving you what will be happening in Brazil, and during, or rather when the World Cup will have started on the 12th, we will again be giving you all the reviews and the previews. And therefore right now, Lynn, take us to the break.
Yeah, of course, we'll take a very short break, but we'll be right back. We'll take a short break, but we'll be right back with the day's sports. Don't go away.